SGD Omega. Is also a gold medalist for the team, actually. Helping the Southeast Asian Games team Seaball to reach it to the top. This is, if not the most hyped, one of the most hyped drafts for sure of this lifetime. Ducky versus Dale. Who's gonna win it? Swarley, Leo, what can we expect from these two teams?
Well, thank you for banning the Selena. I was really expecting that to be banned out. So it's just nice to get a bit of affirmation here.
Yeah.
I like the of that's being wrapped up here because there's more than one rivalry happening. There are amazing coaches, the brains behind the operation. Coach Ducky versus Coach Dale. There's the old guard. That's Hayes, Coco, Rebo, EJ. They're still here. And there's Carl Tizzy now facing the old team that made him. You know what I mean? There's so many things happening beyond just the high-level Mobile Legends esports unfolding before our eyes. So on a narrative scale, this is really one for the books.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be really exciting. Honestly, I'm just so happy that we're gonna be able to see this draft unfold. Natalia banned out by BREN Esports. That's also very interesting.
Your team
and actually, aside from Carl Tizzy facing against his former teammates or his former organization, it's also Hayes from SGD Omega to face against his former team. And look at the respect from BREN Esports banning out the Natalia against this team. We know that this is a very strong team with the Natalia. Nevertheless, it's Jawhead as the first pick for SGD Omega, one of the strongest side laners, and also can be played as a support. So this is one of the better flexi picks in the early stages of the game. Now BREN Esports, Swarley Leo, they're gonna pick up the Thams and the Valier. So it seems Thams is the top pick for the day, as to say the least.
Yep. It's all about that. We were talking about how important the early game is, and Tham's really just one of the better heroes out there in the early game. But on the flip side, they also picked out the Valier, who has seen better days. It's like his best is behind him because he really needed that. I feel like he is one of the heroes that was really affected by the Flame Shot nerf because it complemented his skills so well.
Well, so far, SGD Omega, they're going to put their cards on the table, reveal their carry, and that's going to be the Ling. And it's going to set the pace, which makes sense. They are first pick here, and it's up to BREN Esports now to temper that kind of move. You know, if they're going to trade the jab for the cross, if you will. But it looks like they're going to invest first in their supports. And mid lane is still question mark here. The core is still missing for BREN.
And BREN pretty confident in saving. They're not overreacting against the Ling pick because some teams they would automatically just pick for a Ling counter in this phase. But BREN pretty confident will go with a Carmilla for still a flex pick in many regards. So I like it. BREN, they're not because when you try to overcommit in countering a draft, it can work against you. But you see here, BREN, they have that veteran know-how of drafting. It's showing right here.
Yeah. The Esmeralda, the ban for BREN Esports. As we head on to the last set of picks, like I said, the Ling, you're like
your team
what
is
we
picking.
have been saying. This is a battle. This draft battle, to say the least, is just way
it's a draft
too
battle.
hype. Draft battle. It's a draft battle. Let's go. BREN Esports, the bars that they have laid down. It's Valier, Thams, Carmilla. Carmilla is a hero that few, not few as in the opposite of many. Few as in the player will plays nowadays, right? I don't know why BREN Esports like to put few on this kind of hero, Carmilla. I always feel that you have to put few in a hero that's very high skill cup hero. You know what? Those flashy heroes. There you go. You want to see few with good marksmen or good mages, right? And Carmilla is way too passive, at least for my taste, for BREN Esports. But if it works, it works. Leo, with SGD Omega considering the Angela once again, which by the way was an offlaner in their previous match, what can we say about the lineup of SGD Omega?
Your team is
SGD Omega, they've locked it in. It's gonna be the Angela. It's gonna be the Farsa. So there's a lot of range that's supporting this Ling. So once the Blades of Tempest have been committed, he can hop out and the job can essentially be finished. He can choose to go in or call it a day. On the other end, though, BREN ESPORTS. Real quick, I want to talk about your thoughts on Few being a Carmilla main for the past few days and weeks of the MPL after this Kufra and carry pick. You know what, Wolf? It feels like it's a character development. It's an evolution of what we know Few as. Yeah, it's true. Carmilla's kit does not require for you to be flashy or to be akin to what his history has stated. You know, we've known him to be a very good Granger. He's picked up to display. So with that being said, I think I'm going to give this one to Bren. I know you're going to ask for predictions. I'm going with the ones who are only strong or something like that.
All right. Okay, Swarley, very quick explanation on who's going to win this.
I'm going to spice it up a bit. You know, we've been unanimous the whole day. I think I'm going to go with SGD. I like their draft. It's a bit spicy, in my opinion. If they can make that Ling and Angela work, it will work in wonders. But if not, they're just going to crash and burn. But SGD, I'm rooting for you in this one.
Might go with SGD Omega because I don't like the Carmilla anymore as a core. As a support, yes, but we'll see. Because I think that the game will be totally different as Seiya and Rockhart will take us through the action.
I think I completely agree. This game will definitely seem to be a little bit different as we will see in the coming game. SGD versus BREN Esports. Definitely a big marquee matchup here. What do you think, Seiya?
Yeah, it's really as different as your background right now. And I'm really taken aback earlier. And yeah, I would really agree. But you know what? I will be siding on to SGD right now simply because the Carmilla could have been like a better core to replace. But you know, let's see if they could really execute this well. We are now into the first game of our final match for this day. And so far, so good. They're doing a pretty good job. And really, you should just show the minions on the top side, you know? And going back here, resources will always be the priority. And so far, both teams really on a fundamental early game strategy, which is to, you know, really go and farm resources.
Yeah, and resources are, of course, the name of the game here, especially for heroes like Hajizi's Ling. And, of course, that awesome carry by Carl Teasy. So it's going to be a fight here, and of course, the rotations for Bren looking really smooth here. Whoa, what a pick off there! Rebo got removed almost instantly, and SGD Omega 1 up, 1.5 minutes into the game.
Did you see that damage? It was from 75 to downright 40 real quick, and
on the other side, the ban was to remove Vision, remove the Natalia. They banned out the Selena as well. So these teams, they definitely have their different ways of going about this. But man, I think this might show the big difference maker between these two. Because right now, they're playing the map, they're feeling each other out.
Yes, feeling each other out indeed, because you know what, that Jawhead earlier, you know, just really throwing away the members of BREN Esports. You know what, you go away first. We're not yet ready for that pick fight, and that was a very good decision making. And going back, we are transitioning now to the bottom side, and we are seeing populated members right here. Toshi will be forced to back away simply because of that power spec that the carry gives. And of course, another one, they're kind of in a certain point where they really want to keep an eye out on each other, because you at this a certain point, you don't want early unnecessary pickoffs by your teammates, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the on the highest level. That should be your mindset, right? Because that's the biggest problem that you usually get is when people get picked off at random times, which I think that happened a lot yesterday with some teams that were playing, if you remember correctly. I mentioned that. So this time around, I feel like they're being playing a bit too safe, if I may say so myself. Considering right now they're fighting against resources, although right now Hajizi looking really confident with the Angela shields up, going for Carl Teasy, forcing them to back off.
Got a bit messy right there, but still manages to really lure his way out to safety. And that was a pretty risk, if I do say so myself. But right now, another action is coming into play. Heath with a bit of help on his toes, but Farsa will contemplate that with her skill set. And going back right here, the damage is all too real as Coco demonstrates it with a pickoff, and now transitioning to resource stakes. It's just really, you know, a wide variety of options, but they really chose to really, you know, play it safe and just decide on getting that objective.
Such explosive gameplay here coming out from BREN Esports. I actually didn't expect they would get the kill just like that, but you know what? If you have these really high skill cap players together, unpredictable stuff really do happen. Like if you'll see, they were in a pretty good position. I feel like SGD, they wanted to get something. Hayes was really bombing from the backside, but overall, Coco just so explosive on the FAMs, just shows his mastery over that hero. And on the bottom lane, I think another exchange happened there.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? It was given to Carl Teasy, you know, allowing him some more space for resources. And here onto the middle side, you are seeing that the Jawhead will be transitioning onto the top, you know, just to really recall and gain some health right here. But it's kind of too early to really conclude who has the upper hand right here. But in terms of kills, okay, fine, it's Omega. But that doesn't really matter right now, because what's important is who gets to really set the pace. And here, right now, just really poking each other out. And I love it that Heat was able to throw away, if I'm not mistaken, that was the Angela, so that it would avoid unnecessary pickoffs, like what I mentioned earlier. But BREN Esports eyeing out the blue buff here. Rockhart, this is getting way intense right now as we are seeing another pickoff right here. Really messy Hayes onto the low health and carry successful free hits. But you know what? This is not gonna stop BREN Esports from going all out, because this is intense. They are pressuring the middle side right now.
Ah, that's right. No more Tempest of Blades here that can help Hajizi engage. It was used around the jungle area, and now they don't have it to defend. Mid lane will fall for SGD Omega, giving BREN some of that much-needed gold. And this time around, they are the ones who are in the lead in the economy.
Usually we are seeing a kind of setup wherein the carry will be in action during the mid to late phases of the game. But you know what? Carl TZ really is online right now. And again, that was just 4 to 5 minutes of the game, and it's already, you know, rocking in for some kills, 2-0. And that's something you don't really see every day. And again, Hayes just really shoving out the members of BREN. But you know what? BREN is just here, you know, really dominating and capitalizing whatever they can as they progress here onto the turtle side.
Man, right now, Few just zoning off really well that turtle area, giving it basically free over to Carl TZ. And now, it's gonna be Heath with a great pickoff. Lastly, gonna be put down under the tower, but not before he takes that Forza with him. Now Toshi going in, seeing if he can zone even further, secures that jungle for SGD. But BREN Esports, they're getting everything they want on the map.
And it looks like they really want to deny Toshi from being further, you know, really stabilized right here as they transition to the bottom side of the map. But you know what? This is the thing. BREN really want to really make their mark here onto the lower turf of SGD Omega, and SGD Omega is just really just, you know, not making safe plays, not making any unnecessary engagements. But speaking of engagements, looks like BREN will be the one to fight it up. Look at that damage, and again, Ling will be going for Tempest Blaze. This is a bit dispersed, and now Few was forced to go into that tower with a successful pickoff done by Uranus, and then this is not gonna stop them because they have to force themselves to disengage simply because they don't have any minions left. But what is in store for BREN here is that they get that extra resources onto the side of SGD. And SGD here just really need to pinch themselves up and, you know, avoid any more pickoffs because they're the ones who killed Pew. That's a good thing. But the other thing is that you have to be really careful when engaging in team fights.
Yeah, because engaging like this could spell disaster, especially with really squishy heroes that BREN have, and that also right now SGD have, like Heath. Not squishy, but still goes down so quickly. Rebo so close to death. I think we'll be finished off there by the big tick. And Hayes just have to walk on out there. Fights erupting all over the map here. What an action-packed series. This game is not disappointing.
Yes, indeed. But I love it how BREN Esports is just really securing each of every objective that it has here onto our map. And looking here, it's just so amazing how the power spikes go. But looks like Pew will be at a brink of health enough to survive himself. Will be throwing Lasty onto their turf. And let's see if they will get a potential kill. But after all that fiasco, they weren't able to get a single casualty.
Man, BREN Esports lineup is so tanky when it needs to be, and it also hurts. Like right now, beautiful Tyrant's Rage locks everyone in. A little too late there, Rebo on the follow-up, but all is well. They did good damage on the tower, but good recovery as well for SGD Omega, keeping it steady when faced with high-pressure situations.
Yes, I love the discipline and the patience as well for SGD Omega right here, you know, being dispersed and utilizing they might be taking advantage of this low health potential from BREN Esports, but you know what? Let's just take it slow. And Antonio will be going for that pickoff with the help of Ling's damage. But again, they are not gonna decide to really go for the chase simply because they want things steady. They already are aware that the carry right here is, you know, slowly scaling. So the best bet that you could do is really pick off the members of BREN. And speaking of picking up, looks like the tables will be turned as carry here will be just using every single damage that he has to just really pick off Toshi back there.
My god, Lasty. I mean, he already did a great Tyrant's Rage a few moments ago.
The BREN Esports will be protecting their core, and you know, alongside with it, this is also adds up to more pressure for a bit on the side of SGD, simply because the distance and the positioning, they're not really getting into that footing yet, but the fact that they can defend and then retaliate with one or two skirmishes fights is, you know, something to take note for.
Yeah, but you know what I really like about SGD is you're absolutely right. They utilize the distance that their heroes can make. Farsa, super long range. Angela can move around all over the map. And they're clearing all that they can clear. They're dealing as much damage as they can. So Hayes is actually pretty good on the Farsa. It's just that BREN Esports' lineup, they're just so tanky. I mean, we have a few on the Carmilla zoning like crazy right now while they're going for a very, very early Lord. And Few be locked out. And the backline is going to be the target here for SGD Omega. Oh my gosh, Hayes is now going to be clearing up a lot of damage from the front line. Doing a great job is Hajizi as well, protected by Kenji's Angela. And this time around, they could be the ones going for the Lord. Lastly, he's not done once to take Hayes to the grave with him. But no siree, the trio of SGD gonna keep that Lord going.
That is the beauty of the discipline of SGD Omega. They know that they're opting for their Lord. They know that the objective of BREN Esports is the priority. But the thing is, them going from behind and just capturing the carry here and alongside with the squishier heroes is something that you have to really commend on SGD Omega side. That was good shot callings from them, and this gives them a more allowance to even out the map control. So if you go back right here real quick, Keith goes for that engagement, followed up by the damages that the other members of SGD is doing with Farsa's overall skill set alongside with Ling's assassination. You can really judge by the shot calling here that this is not a joke. They didn't prioritize the ones who were in the Lord. They prioritized the ones who were behind it.
Exactly, and I was surprised how Jeezy, untouched in that whole exchange, almost suffered no damage. I think he didn't even need Kenji's Angela shield for that, the heart guard.
Yeah.
So, great shot calling, as you said, from SGD Omega. BREN Esports, they're still pretty even. Can they pull this off? Can they protect Carl TZ, who is doing so much damage on the backline right now? Lasty, he's out of HP, cannot sustain against the heavy casualty, heavy damage being dished out by SGD Omega's lineup. Now, it's going to be the ultimate defense with Hayes going hard onto those minions. But again, SGD Omega, they can't really go near the towers just yet because BREN Esports, they're still up and about.
Yes, indeed, because this is the thing. Okay, that Lord a pickoff that happened, or that clash that happened earlier, was just one way to recover the things that SGD Omega missed. But the thing is, it's not really that enough because Carl TZ himself was able to grab some for himself. So the best thing that SGD can do is, okay, they're even out right now. They just really have to garner a lot more before they can get that potential pickoff. But how would they do that if they have one man down? And Ling will be taking advantage of this by getting one for himself. This is not yet over. More members of BREN has to go back forcefully simply because of the damage inflicted upon them.
I would say this is very far from over, especially considering the way BREN Esports has been playing for the past, like, how many minutes already. I mean, despite, I feel like SGD Omega's having such a very aggressive lineup, they are sustaining as well. And Carl TZ, he's not failing in his mission to get all the gold that he needs. He's 3-1-3 on the carry, has locked on the endless battle and already the items that he needs for attack speed, and now they're going hard onto the targets that they need. Hajizi, this time around, he could clean up house. Tempest Blaze knocks up those targets, but he is not long for this world. Evaporated by the lineup of BREN Esports here. Rebo shutting down on the Kenji will not be enough. Hayes goes in for the former teammate, forces him to back off. He's burning, he's gone.
That was beautiful position done by Carl TZ right here, really abusing the position that he has in a manner that he won't get free hit by the members of SGD. And now that was 4-1 in favor of BREN Esports, and this is giving them a leeway right now to actually, you know, potentially finish this game, because time is ticking, and it's gonna take quite some time for them to go and respawn once again. But you know what? This is also a wise decision for BREN to just back out. Now let's go back onto the replay. Parry was able to really pre-hit Toshi back there and really abusing everything that they got, and gets that double kill, realizing that the members who actually reacted to Toshi was squishy. So Parry's main thing is to just go and free hit because his damage output is real here.
Yeah, that was like standard overconfidence, I would say, or overestimating your power. Because how Jeezy had the Angela shield, full HP, you know what? Why not go for this? But again, the lineup of BREN, like I said in the beginning, they can be really tanky when they want to be, especially when Coco activates Cauteret Inferno at a good timing. So now, it's going to be the mind games here. Who is actually in the driver's seat? Who is in control here? Big question to be answered by this team fight.
Okay, so Toshi came in from the backlights, and now the other members of SGD are here to go for their aid, and Ling goes for the kill. This is not going to stop them, though, quite dispersed, but again, they have to prioritize on who to target first, and they will be deciding that it's going to be Lasty onto their tails. And now, you can see how tanky Lasty's are, but he won't really last soon, because Ling will be taking that kill. And onto the top side right now, while all the fiasco was happening, cornering Lasty out, Parsa gets a kill for herself, and then really transition themselves out to get this Lord take is something that SGD Omega is prioritizing right now.
Alright, well, when they removed Carl TZ from the equation, it was so easy suddenly. You know this? Like, there wasn't even any fight at that point. Everyone's almost to support. Carl TZ goes down. There's no one to support. And only Coco gonna be the front line here in the damage dealer. Carmilla, few, not even gonna count. As the rest of SJD barrel down the mid lane, remove the middle inhibitor turret. And now, the field is open.
love it how both of these teams really rally out, and this is not really gonna be over soon. We're already onto the mid to late phases of our game. Carl TZ is in terms of scaling, it's doing a good job for him. But you know what? The members of SGD or Omega are catching up, and really fully stabilize their overall composition, all they need now is just that one miracle pickup wherein they pin down fully the carry.
My gosh, this game is playing with my heartstrings right now. The Lord is in the mid lane. Can they stop it? They will have to focus on it, but they will sacrifice both top and bottom lane inhibitor turrets. And now it's the Baron base of BREN Esports with SGD Omega waiting in the wings for them to make a fatal mistake. He's going in hard with the nuking attack, and that is going to leave BREN Esports catching their breath.
BREN Esports will be forced to go on defenses. This is where they test their iron will. This is a test if they get to defend it onto the hands of SGD Omega. And SGD Omega, this is similar to any basketball game. We'll be going on offense real soon. But Rockhart, this is just swell. I mean, this isn't as fast as we expected it to be, but SGD Omega manages to slightly turn the tides in their favor. But up to what extent, though? Up to what extent? Because BREN Esports is something that you really can't neglect in terms of comeback potential. They have the carry, they have the Kufra here, and the Toms as well to really, complement each other. But the problem is, up to what extent?
I mean, I don't even mind. This game is close to 20 minutes. I love this game. BREN has been on the driver's seat. SGD's been on the driver's seat. We're taking control. Oh no, SGD's back. It's like, whoa, seriously. I think all of this is, again, hanging on the shoulders of Carl TZ on the carry. Can he keep this up? And now it's going to be another huge test with SGD on the borders of BREN Esports, again, waiting for that crucial mistake that they're hoping that BREN will commit. But again, everyone from BREN Esports, they're just keeping it together and then following the shot call very, very closely. That goal lead at 20 minutes, 4,000, I don't even think that exists right now, right? It doesn't feel as significant as the other games we've noticed this week.
Yeah, I agree, because this time around, I think it's just a matter of who gets to pin one down first. Because the thing here is that if you notice on the early phases of the game, BREN has the upper hand. And the thing about it, SGD Omega right now is getting
into the groove. And that might be the ticket for BREN. But who knows how that's going to happen, because Kenji, he's not showing himself on the map. Except for right now! Oh my god, they're catching Coco! He's still alive! He's absorbing all of the damage! And he makes it out of there! Oh my heart! This game could... I mean, one death, right? Could dictate the face of this game. Who is it gonna be?
I think you would agree with me when Coco here is Coco Crunch. As in, literally, look how tanky he was right now. And, complemented it in a way that the damage that was inflicted to him was on Farsa instead. And Farsa was forced to back away. And now, looking back here again for another attempt, this time on Lasty, stunning him and giving him all the damage as you could be. But now he still has immortality though, and Few will be having his time to really go to his rescue. But then again, Rockhart, this is real. They are pinning down Few. They want him out of the scoreboard here.
And he's still alive, though he's fighting. He's holding on to dear life. With Carl TZ still pretty much safe, full HP, doing a lot of damage, but the front line is fading quickly. GZ going hard. Tempest of Blades makes him invulnerable, but Carl TZ, he is now gone. Everyone else, Rebo, except for Coco, they are falling like dominoes. And safe to say, that will be it. It's gonna be a wipeout here against BREN Esports with SGD taking game 1.